What's up, everybody? Felipe here. We're playing an awesome game.
My name is Ty. I'm just kind of here for emotional support, and this is also one of my favorite games of all time.
And let's get this fucking shit started. Oh god, that noise!
Fantastic noise.
I know.
It's MIDI-tastic.
All right. Oh, we got a.
You have to name it Alucard.
Yeah. See, I'm on my own, but we're gonna start a new game, and we're gonna be.
We're not gonna call it Alucard?
Oh, I can't do Balucard. Damn it.
If you went with one L, you could.
Yeah. Oh, it only has one L in his name, doesn't he?
Yeah. So this is the exciting part of the game, the naming screen.
Which doesn't fucking matter for anything else in the entire game.
Not true.
Really?
Alucard will actually give you bonuses, and once you've beaten the game, if you put in Richter, you can play as Richter.
Well, there we go, so...
But I've never played this game before. That's totally not true.
Oh, it's not true that if you put in Alucard?
That's totally true.
Oh, nice.
I was just joking about not playing the game before.
Yeah, because I know you can play as Richter. Oh, God, man.
It's kind of painful to watch after all these years.
I know, especially on such a high-resolution TV. That is one of the problems with gaming. I don't mind like Super Nintendo or regular Nintendo so much.
The water effect doesn't look that bad now. This
era of PlayStation gaming though, we thought it was so amazing back then, but it just looks so fucking balls right now. You know?
Well, I mean, this came out was released in the States on October 2nd, 1997. Like
the
look
castle,
at all the time that's passed.
Yeah, exactly. And the castle has no texture. Like, I mean. But this was when, at the time,
the bats are triangles.
Yeah. At the time, I fucking shit my pants over this,
It was amazing. Well, have you seen the intro video for Final Fantasy Tactics?
Recently.
The game was amazing. If you go back and watch it, you kind of go, what the heck?
Same with all those, I'm sure with all those Final Fantasy. I haven't replayed 7 or 8.
Dude, 7 is painful to look at now, but it's still fantastic.
Yeah.
I honestly think that the PlayStation X or the PS1, depending on what generation you're really calling it, I think it had the highest concentration of amazing games of all of the systems.
God, it had some really good games, especially because on these games like this, they weren't afraid to do these side-scrollers, Free items. I like when you could go back here as Alucard and find all the cool stuff. But yeah, Richter is also the star. We were talking about this the other day. Richter is the star of
Rondo of Blood
and Dracula X.
Well, I think it's the same game.
No, because Dracula X is it's called Vampire's Kiss, I believe, in Japan, or Akamoja Dracula Vampire Kiss, which is Castlevania. I don't. Somebody's gonna correct me, but that's what I'm pretty sure it's called. It was also called. It was called something else in its European release, because Dracula X is the weird American name, and it was never very popular here.
Well, it wasn't very popular. It gained a cult following. This game wasn't really marketed when it came out.
No, I'm talking about X, not
X?
Symphony.
Okay.
I love their voices.
Monster, you don't belong in this world.
At least PlayStation 1 actually had voices. Like, try hearing a voice in Nintendo 64.
Hey, listen!
Yeah,
listen!
Hey, do a barrel roll. Press the L or the R trigger to do a barrel roll. And it sounds like he's talking through a bowl of mashed potatoes.
And make them your slaves.
I like how Richter has this, like, long flowing hair in the picture.
Your words are as empty as your soul.
I had to watch this a bunch of times. I don't remember why, but I was trying to do something and it was just like, God, this is so off. What is a man?
Little pile of secrets. But enough talk. How about you?
I love these Japanese games with the terrible dialogue that just...
I could never hear "Have at you" without thinking of Metal Gear. Have at you, Snake.
Remember, you can't die on this one.
Hey there, dudes.
What's up, man? Welcome to the game show. You're actually on live TV right now.
Who?
Well, us right now, we're recording Castlevania. So, have a seat on the game couch.
Oh, shit.
Oh,
Just
man.
got hit.
No, you can't die. You can get hit, but you can't die.
Well, I usually don't get hit at this point.
Oh.
I was distracted.
It's all good. At least the dog didn't bark. But yeah, we finally got all the devices all up and running, so we're going to record some stuff with one of our favorite games of all time.
That's rad. I've actually never seen this game played.
You want to introduce yourself?
I suppose I will.
And we can have witty banter.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, my name's Nico, and the last name's way too long, so that's good enough.
Yeah, welcome to Castlevania Dracula, or Castlevania Symphony of the Night. I was just say Dracula X, we were just talking about that.
And if anybody's watching this game being played and you haven't seen this game being played before,
Go buy it. Go buy a PlayStation 1 and this game and play it.
realize that if kids that were born the day this came out can already drive, if you're pissed off at me for the way I'm playing it, shut up.
Yeah, for real.
Just use some patience. That's the trick to any Castlevania game.
Yeah, exactly. Rather than hitting them like 5 times, you know, you gotta dodge them. Dodge the flaming balls.
That's always been my policy.
Always dodge flaming balls. I like how his jump looks like he's about to singe his ass hair, like, every time. Like, it does not look like he can dodge the fireballs, like... He's got like an 8-foot vertical leap, you know? Jumping over Dracula's head and his 3 fireballs. I like how Dracula has to cackle every time he does something, too.
Well, how would you know he's evil if he didn't cackle?
Oh no. His creepy organ music and his skull throne are not enough.
He's got it cape. That
Yeah.
never ends well in PlayStation games.
I know.
Black cape, not a good sign.
Yeah, please note Richter and his no cape.
He's just wearing a tabard that looks capish when you jump.
Yeah, and he's dunking on Shaquille O'Neal.
I don't remember, like, Bram Stoker's Dracula being fucking 9 feet tall.
I think it's just to make him look more otherworldly. He's always this like giant thing in a lot of the games. The problem is in a lot of the Super actually a lot of the NES ones, he's like a fucking giant blob. Oh goodness! And then you battle him in space. Yeah, I know. It's been what? How many years has it been since you played this?
About 3 months.
About 3 months. Okay, never mind.
Ah, that hurts.
You got the crosses too.
If I can throw it far enough.
But yeah, we were actually just talking about. Have you played Rogue Legacy at all?
Nope.
I was talking about Rogue Legacy, and it's in this classic style of Castlevania. It's almost like a bullet hell Castlevania. Like they said, hey, what can we take? And they took those original Castlevania games where there's constant enemies on the screen and all sorts of horrible shit for you. There we go. This cannot be.
I did way worse that time than I normally do.
I know, and that's saying something. That's why I gave it to you, because I know I'd look like a scrub playing this. Like I can talk about it a lot, but I'll look like a fucking scrub trying to fight the bosses. Like,
So I think
Some backstory.
yeah,
I think everybody has like a game that they go back and play every once in a while. Like for my roommate, he's a huge Grim Fandango fan. Like he's losing his mind over the fact that it's coming to like new generation systems and being remastered, which I think is still mostly rumor, but we'll see how it pans out. For me, it's Castlevania Symphony of the Night. I played this game, you know, sad story, when my folks were getting divorced back in like 1998, and ever since then, this has been like my sweet spot game. It's like, I feel bad about the world. Castlevania!
See, mine has definitely always been, instead of Symphony of the Night, mine was Castlevania 4, Super Castlevania. That's just the game, because I never really had a PlayStation, you know, growing up with a bunch of other siblings. You can't get the single-player console and play it and have fun. You gotta get the 4-player console, the multiplayer console, so yeah, exactly, so that nobody fought, so you're killing each other as Oddjob rather than, you know, in real life. But 4 was always the one that really just, was the one that I kind of I remember playing 1, 2, and 3 when I was younger on my NES.
Yeah.
And, but you know, when you think about that, you're like, those games were fucking insanely hard. You expect a 10-year-old to beat those games.
Not only were they extremely hard, they were part of like the Castlevania legacy. I mean, before this, there was no quote-unquote open world Castlevania. This was like the first of its kind. And the games before it didn't have a lot of replay value unless you were just obsessed with the concept.
Yeah. I mean, for
hard.
NES, the replay value was, is this game playable? Yes, it is, so I'm going to play it again. I couldn't tell you how many times I beat Mega Man 3 or Mega Man 5 just because, you know, and when you're like, it was still difficult. But
when you were that age, though, how many like cartridges did you have for that system?
Fucking Mega Man 3, Mega Man 5, and Mach Rider.
And that's pretty much it. I mean, when I first got a PlayStation, the only game I had was Metal Gear Solid. I think I can probably still tell you, like, just through, like, memory, exactly how to beat everything in that game.
I like how he looks like he's, like, shuffling along, like like it's not a fucking deal at all. He's just, like, scooting, you know?
He's just electric sliding.
This is the best part.
I'm trying to remember what he comes with off of the get-go.
He just looks really cool.
I don't have any of my...
Wait until the music starts. But yeah, but 4 for me was just the amazing one when it started off, you know, and the drawbridge lowers and
When was the PlayStation 1 released in the US? Do you remember?
I couldn't tell you off the top of my head, but it's crazy when you think about that stuff and you're like, man, that was 20 years ago, you know? Considering that the PlayStation 1 has some of that stuff that's like, is this still playable? It has a lot of that content where you're like, is this still playable? And most of the time,
I can name more PlayStation games that I would go back and happily play than I can any other system.
See, and mine is a lot of Super Nintendo games. I would happily play Super Nintendo games just because I think it's as a favorite as console. You know, like a lot of people tell me all the time, like, oh, I want to play 64. You know, and I have all these 64 games in my house, and everyone's like, yeah, let's play a 64 game. Let's fuck around. And you're like, dude, that game is ass, and it looks like ass. It hurts my eyes, like.
So, if anybody's wondering what I'm doing right now, these things are just a free experience factory for the first couple levels. And in this game, you kind of want that for a little while, because this.
You can go back and kill the wolves too, can't you? If you enter the door and come back in.
You can, but I think there's a. If I remember right, there's a trigger built in where after a certain number of passages, zombies won't do anything for you.
Oh, really?
As I recall.
Because I thought they still gave you experience no matter what.
Like, there's actually, after certain points, certain enemies will stop doing anything for you.
Gotcha.
I mean, some enemies will all the way through the end, like plate lords, you'll always get experience for. No matter which castle you're on.
I had a weird ROM of this on my computer. It might not have been this one. It might have been like a Game Boy Advance game ported over. I don't remember because it's been forever since I played it. You know, that was 15 years ago.
Well, this game was also on the PSP's Dracula X Chronicles.
Yeah,
but it was a hidden game. Like you had to like unlock a special item to get it on the PSP.
And it's amazing because like. I wish that more games like this would have been released. You know, imagine if on the Nintendo 64 they released a new Metroid game. A side-scroller Metroid to be the sequel to Super Metroid.
Well, as we were talking about earlier, you mentioned the N64 wasn't really built for that.
Yeah, and they were so excited about having a 3D console, even though it wasn't exactly the smartest plan. Which, I mean, I can deal with that. Like, the N64 was still, it still holds a special place in my heart. That's why I have every fucking game for it.
I think this generation of gaming, the best games weren't three-dimensional. Like, they had, like, maybe isometric elements.
Especially on PlayStation 1. Like there's those 2.5D games, you know?
Like Final Fantasy Tactics, I guess you could say is...
Yeah, or this, or Tomba, or anything. Those are just amazing.
Alundra.
Yeah. And those are the kind of games that you're sitting there and you're like, man, that's a cool game today. You can play that shit over and over and over and go, man, that's a cool game still. And it still plays because the thing is, there's so many modern games that have taken after these and have just essentially, you know,
taken a step farther.
Yeah, taken it a step farther.
Well, it's like the argument that Borderlands 2 is better than Borderlands 1. It's like, okay, yeah, I think it has more gameplay elements. It's a little bit more refined. But without Borderlands 1, obviously 2 wouldn't exist. And that sounds like the dumbest statement to ever come out of my mouth, because why the hell would you have a sequel to nothing?
Yeah.
But I mean, it's just the concept of building, and it's just the fact that it's the same name kind of has.
Well, yeah, and I mean, there's some games that do like a whole jump, like Dragon Age to Dragon Age 2 and things like that. Those are two completely different games. It might go Dragon Stuff to Dragon Age 2, you know? Like, it doesn't fucking matter.
If you were to go like order of what I would see as like logical progressions of games.
However, do you feel that like think about the Nintendo 64 Castlevania to this one?
Oh my
You want
God.
to talk about a steaming pile of dog diarrhea? That's fucking Castlevania 64.
Honestly, there has been way less good Castlevanias than there has been terrible Castlevanias.
A lot of the new I haven't played Lords of Shadow or anything like that though. I probably should. We should probably do a video of that sometime in the future. But
I will probably kill myself.
I know I probably would too because I'm so used to 4. You know, I love the platformer, and to switch that into a 3D like role-playing game, they either went too heavy on the role-playing elements or whatever, you know. And then in 4, it's that same Nintendo 64 formula, you know? Let's make a game where you wander around in a really foggy, like, pixelated polygon temple, and you fucking try and find a key or something, and then that's the game.
This is sort of a dumb story, but recently I found my PlayStation 2, because we just went through a move, so I had to like get rid of all my old stuff. And I found a bunch of old games I never finished and everything, and I thought, why not buy some more that I never got the chance to play? So one of the first ones I bought was Dante's Inferno. I can't remember. Was that the first one? PS2?
Wait, Dante's Inferno was the one...
Or not Dante's Inferno, what am I talking about?
Devil May Cry.
Devil May Cry, that's
Yeah.
right.
The first Devil May Cry was fantastic. I love the concept.
I actually just picked up the HD collection.
I can prove I've been spoiled by modern gaming because I couldn't make it past the first boss in that game.
The big spider?
Yeah, as soon as I found out I had lives, my mind was blown.
Yeah, I know. When old games, you're like, it seems so arbitrary to have lives and score and shit like that. You're like, wait, when you get hurt, the screen just doesn't flash red for 4 seconds?
I don't
Like-
get to go behind cover for a minute.
Yeah. It just shows you how casual it's. I mean,
I'm trying to remember what game Devil May Cry was supposed to be before they lost their licensing, and basically had to change the direction of it.
Oh, I know that story, but I can't remember the game either. Yeah, it was supposed to be some story, and then they took it and made a new game.
Yeah.
Which a lot of good
it wasn't
games-
one of the Resident Evil.
Yeah, a lot of good games have gone that direction.
Yeah.
Resident Evil is actually supposed to be a different game too before they switched it. Which
Yeah.
I mean, you want to talk about another awesome game. Resident Evil was one of those games that used the limited system and hardware and did something amazing. You know, because this right here, this is not even pushing the system at all.
This is like 5% of what the system can do.
Yeah, exactly. You want to talk about games that push the system. We're talking about those games with those huge video things and all that stuff.
Well,
you know.
I mean, the thing about PlayStation is that so much of it was pre-rendered that the system didn't have to tax itself. I mean, Final Fantasy VII, all the environments were basically just images that they had paths that you could move across.
Yeah. The one thing that I still remember though, playing PlayStation 1, you go back and those loading sequences are nightmarishly long, you know.
Oh, but they didn't feel that bad when you were playing it.
Yeah, well, because you had a little fucking 10-year-old boner going on in your trousers right there. You're just like, oh god, I'm gonna play Final Fantasy VII. There's a flying ship and a guy with a gun for his hand.
Well, you also used that opportunity to go get milk and cookies.
Yeah, for real. I mean, I guess you could say that new games we don't have loading screens, but you wanna go anywhere in like a MMO or something, you
Well-
gotta fly a taxi.
Well, we still have loading screens. They're just playable loading screens.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like Mass Effect. Mass Effect did it great. You fucking hang out in an elevator and, you know, scratch your nuts. Like, fucking, like that was what. I mean, that's what.
That's basically my hobby in real life.
One of my
I go downtown, get an elevator to scratch my nuts.
Yeah, dude.
Me too.
See, I like to do it on escalators. You know, leave nothing
There's
to the
an audience.
imagination. Yeah.
Although with my job, I'm in an elevator at the courthouse like every other day. And I always find some way to try to make somebody laugh, because you know that they're going through shit.
Yeah, for real.
Like, even if it's like taking a fake phone call. and like talking about, oh, hell no. Mookie said what? No, I'm going to be right there.
Yeah, some of those people at the courthouse are like, "You need any help, man? You need help."
I'll tell you how you fix the like MMO taxi service. Like World of Warcraft now has just like the autopilot shit. In Eve, if you can autopilot all you want, but someone might shoot you on the way. So
I was talking about that the other day. Playing World of Warcraft and you're playing as a night elf and you're like, this is gonna be amazing. I can go AFK and shadow meld, but like people can see you from like 2 miles away when you're shadow melding. It almost like puts a neon sign above your head that's like, hey, there's like a level 30 night elf shadow melded here.
Well, the
Just come kill him.
The tooltip used to say it just puts you in stealth, which is highly inaccurate. It puts you in like a
gank me status, like
it puts you in like a training wheels version of stealth.
Yeah, for real. You're just like bending over, like spreading your butt cheeks, like please don't molest me.
I'll be fine.
Yeah,
that sounds a lot like prom.
A lot like prom. Yeah, exactly.
Which I may have missed because of this game. Yeah. I'm trying to think.
Lil Jon and the East Side Boys playing while you're bending over, spreading your cheeks. Get low, get low, get low. Oh man, I love like the ghostly like thing following you. You know, like that's the coolest thing. You know, if I had one superpower in real life,
the spectral image.
Yeah, it would be to have like the spectral image follow me.
I just got distracted by it and ran into a zombie trying to watch like my image behind me.
Would you actually want to be super fast enough that it like makes sense, or do you just want?
No, just want that. Like the guy from Chronicles of Riddick. He wasn't like super fast really, but he had like the spectral image, and he would just like would make his hand do that. Like, dude, I took Molly.
That's an idea for a new segment.
The Chronicles of Riddick?
No. We just do a shit ton of drugs and then play games we love.
Oh, God.
And see if we still love them.
Basehead Fridays.
We actually just went through and might have done that with Halo 4, and it made no sense. It was so confusing and terrifying.
Dude, I couldn't finish Halo 4. Like,
yeah,
I loved the first 3 so much. The fourth just felt like a sin.
New studio, you know, of course, you want to talk about...
I'm pretty excited about Bungie... coming out with is it Destiny is their next project?
Yeah.
That looks pretty cool, and there's that other thing that's coming out that's it's like the most expensive video game to date right now in development. It's been like pushed back a few times. I'm trying to remember what it's called.
Disney's Cars 2, the movie video game.
That sounds about right. No, it's supposed to be like an MMO on a system.
I just want a goddamn cross-platform MMO and all that stuff. Like, well, I want to talk about MMO on a system.
I don't think it would work.
MMO on a system that's already come out and wasn't cross-platform, but was on multiple platforms. Phantasy Star Online 1 and 2. You want to talk about a game that came out 20 years ago and is fucking phenomenal? That is Phantasy Star Online 1 and 2. I still play that game, you know? I have a level, like, 100 and something character on there that I've been playing for 10 years, you know?
Note to self, erase Luke's memory card.
No, it does it on its own. It fucking... Every once in a while, I had to use a special off-brand memory card, because I think there's an internal battery or something in memory cards, and they like to corrupt themselves and erase themselves, and you have to reformat them every once in a while.
So it's basically like having kids.
Yeah, exactly. Well, it's like if you had a kid and they fucking like put their memory card in their ass and like ruined it, and you had like 175 days of your life on a character there.
That sounds like having kids.
Yep.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Tiny people ruining your dreams.
Yep. But see, it's funny because in that game, like, rare items are rare items, you know?
Did you guys ever watch Fairly Odd Parents, the old cartoon? I'm just suddenly reminded of that thing where it's like, long ago I gave up on my dreams. About how long? How old are you?
So I love how those little cartoons can get away with so much. Like,
oh, there's so much dirty stuff in those cartoons.
Animaniacs takes the cake.
Oh my god!
There's a reel that takes like 5 minutes somewhere on YouTube to get through all the terrible
innuendos. Yeah,
well,
and I had heard those people talking.
Fingerprints.
Yeah, everyone
I don't think so.
I heard them talking, and they're sitting there and they're saying like, we just put as much as we could in hopes that the censors would miss something. They're like, we were giving them like pornographic shit at one point.
It's a story that still goes on. Did you guys see? What was it? This Is the End. That movie with like all the okay.
Yeah.
The scene with the giant demon cock.
Yeah.
That wasn't supposed to make it in, but they did that trick where you just put in so many jokes that you see like how many can slip by. That one got by. The bust-sized dick getting cut off by a laser.
All right.
I know, right?
I like how we've been on here for like the entire amount of time at the show, and we've been like
in the first room.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I'm leaving the first room now. I just hit level 5, which is the level that I would advise you be at before you proceed with the game.
All right, guys. Well, that's all for the first episode. Make sure to stay tuned for the next